It's me. Now, I told y'all earlier that in the month of August, Devin But Better is on the road. And today we're actually going to be on the road. Like, I'm gonna be driving us around because I am quickly approaching my 10-year anniversary in Los Angeles. This bitch has been here a decade in Los Angeles, which officially makes me an Angelino, I think. To celebrate this 10-year anniversary, I decided to take you on a little tour of LA, told through the lens of incredible stories from my life here. And by incredible, I mean, just very me. Hello and welcome back, you beautiful nerds, to another edition of a video on this little corner of the internet. Now, I have spent this entire morning mapping out my route, selecting locations that really reflect the good, the bad, and the ugly of my Los Angeles experience. With each location, I'll be telling you a story from the past decade. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight as to what it's like to move to a new city and then hate that city, and then suddenly that city grows underneath your skin, and then you start insisting that you can't leave that city, and then now you're a native. Hey, we're literally in these streets today because I'm gonna be driving. And for those of you who are wondering, oh my God, you're gonna be driving and talking at the same time? Isn't that bad? Yeah, I mean, the talking part is, I have a GoPro attached to a window. Let's get ready to go. Hello. It's Devin from the future. And y'all, you'll never guess what happened to me. I lost my dang AirPods. The universe owns them now. They're out there somewhere. But that's not what we're talking about. Thankfully, I had these little puppies come in the mail. These are my new Urbanistas wireless headphones, and y'all, they feel, act, and perform like regular AirPods, but they are like 50% less. Plus, I feel like their battery life is like way longer. Urbanista's Stockholm earbuds cost around 50% less than Apple AirPods. Their sleek design, amazing audio, great price point, and thousands of 5-star reviews make them a top option over other audio brands in the market. Their redesigned case with an LED battery indicator holds charge for up to 5 charges. There are also carefully designed earphones that are made for a secure fit, giving you a comfortable feel throughout the day. Go to urbanista.com/Devin Lytle to get 20% off your purchase plus free shipping. Y'all, I'm just forever grateful that the mystery of the missing earphones did not ruin my time on set and make me look unprofessional. I love her. So I would highly recommend checking out Urbanista. Okay, now back to the video. And we're off to our number 10 spot, which is in the first place position. This is a no rank, really. We're starting off with the first place. And we're off to our first location on this tour of Devinness in Los Angeles. I am taking y'all to the first place where I paid rent in LA. Because here's the truth. I don't necessarily remember the exact day that I touched down in LA. I'm sure if I did some digging, I could figure that out. It was like around the 7th-ish. So I consider September 1st my first day in LA because that was the first day I paid rent. When I first moved to Los Angeles, I lived in this cute little house. This is the home that I brought Mars and Bones home to for the first time. Are you guys sitting down? I paid $450 for rent. I sure did, a month. And I thought that was outrageous because I came from Ann Arbor, Michigan, where at the time my rent was $240 a month. That's outrageous in today's terms. In Los Angeles, like if you want a nice place, a studio for an example, if you want a nice studio, you're gonna have to pay at least $1,500, at least. So when I first moved here, homegirl was paying $450. This is my first apartment in Los Angeles. I truly forgot how many beautiful Victorian houses are on the street. I forgot that this area that I first lived in when I first moved to LA 10 years ago is like a historical area. The street is lined with rose bushes and Victorian houses, all refurbished to look like they originally did for the most part. This little street has so much beauty and so much history. This was my first place I landed. Like, that just hit me. Damn, I'm a lucky bitch. We're here at the next stop in this epic tour in the past decade of my life here in LA. We have reached a cute little residential spot that will always be close to my heart. This area is in mid-city Los Angeles, sometimes called Miracle Mile, and I used to live in this neighborhood. There are 2 spots here that I would love to share with you, so come on, let's go. So I'm outside of my second apartment in Los Angeles. I lived here for 5 years. I lived here with my best friend Abby from childhood. I lived here with Brian from Star Kid. I lived here with Ivana, Evie. So many memories. We called this the Pussy Palace because at any given time there were at least 2 cats and at least 2 women living here. This whole neighborhood, this whole area, this apartment, this just holds so many memories, so many learning opportunities, so many wins, so many L's. It all like happened. I was developing very quickly. As a young woman, I learned so much about who I am and about what I want from life in this apartment. It's funny because I don't even need to get into a car to take you to our next location because it's in the same neighborhood. This street right in here is Highland Avenue. Across from me is a house where a bunch of my guy friends used to live when I first moved in Los Angeles, and this house right here was my party house. Everybody needs a party house. You know, a place where they go where their friends are and where everybody knows your name. That's not what we're looking at though. I want to direct your attention to right in front of that house, actually, this one right here. I was outside of that house, when I found out that I booked my first gig in Los Angeles as an actor. And my agent called me and she was like, hey, you got this commercial, booked your first job. And I was like, oh my God! And I remember being outside of that apartment, bawling my eyes out, calling my parents. It was a very exciting moment for me. What up? When you vlog on the streets of Los Angeles, people honk at you and ask you questions, and like, that's nice. We're here at our next spot. Now this spot right here, y'all, very, very special spot in my heart. I just feel like what I'm about to show y'all next is just like canon and the Devin and Patrick story. Let's go see. So I'm here at the parlor. This is where Patrick and I decided to have our first date. We planned our first date to meet here at the parlor. We ended up going to lots more different places on that day, but yeah, this is where we met. So the parlor was the place that Pat and I had planned to meet on our first date. And we got there and we realized that there was a private event. I just remember watching and waiting for Patrick to figure out a new plan, because I'm like, if this man's right here doesn't have a backup, then I don't know. And he did. He was immediately like, okay, that's not an option for us. I guess we'll go to my other favorite bar, the dark room. And Pat and I ended up closing down the dark room. That is the story of Patrick and I's first date. So yeah, that spot, which is like the parlor and then the dark room, really Melrose Avenue, holds a special spot in my heart for me. Because that's where I met my mans. My Pat. Everyone needs a Pat, whether it's a Patrick, Patikins, Patricio. Everyone needs a Pat. Let's go to our next spot. Let me paint a picture for y'all, okay? I had just gotten back from the DMV where I had to pay some absurd amount of money for like registration or something. And I was just having a really tough time with money. To incur a large, hefty bill at the DMV, not a great look when you're living off of $1,200 a month. So I came to this car, got inside, and proceeded to call my mom. So I was crying to her on the phone, like the ugly crying where you like can't get a word in. As I'm crying, tearing up, I hear and I look to my left and there's a man at my window. I roll down my window and I go, yeah. He goes, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry. I couldn't help it over here because I was sob screaming that you're having money issues and I just wanted to offer you $100 because I know what that's like and that sucks. I was shocked. This man came to my car window wanting to offer me money. What did I do? No, just leave me alone. How dare you talk to me? I yelled at him. He was like, so sorry, and backed away. My mom on the phone was like, did someone just come to your car window and offer you money? And I said, yeah. And she goes, you didn't take it? And I was like, no. She's like, you're a dumbass. I'll never forget that gentleman who knocked on my window and tried to offer me money. Let's move on to our next spot where I've got another story about me trying to make money. Let's just go. All right, okay, so we're here at our 5th spot. This is our 5th spot. And to be honest with y'all, I'm probably not gonna get out of the car. This was my experience of this area in Los Angeles, but it's a crazy story. so I'm gonna tell it to y'all. Let me get the other camera out. Let me just show you what I'm looking at right now. This was my view when I would come and visit this spot. This was back in 2011 when I first moved here. I answered this ad on Craigslist, and I saw an ad that said, like, I will pay you $150, I think it was, to audit a class. I'll go to a class. Where's this class? And I'll go. So I met up with this person, and she told me that she was sick and she couldn't go to her choir class. I would wake up on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, drive here, pick up her recording device. It was like a tape recorder. Drive up to Pierce College, audit the hour choir class, record it, and then drive back, drop off the tape recorder. Pretty simple, right? So one day she comes around, I return her tape recorder. She's like, how's the teacher? And I was like, oh, he's fine. Like, I don't know, he's fine. She's like, well, did he seem okay? And I was like, yeah, no, he's fine. He seemed fine. The next time I dropped off the recorder, she asked a similar question. She was like, how's the teacher? Does he seem okay? Does he seem healthy? So then that day, I decided to go up and introduce myself to this choir teacher. And I was like, hi, my name's Devin. I'm auditing this class for a student of yours who's sick. She can't come, so I just wanted to introduce myself. And he's like, okay, cool, cool, cool. And I was like, yeah, she's very concerned that you're healthy. She wants to know, like, if you're good. He was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, I know, it's a little weird. And he goes, what's her name? And I was like, this is her name. And he was like, oh, I don't know her. Now that you mention it, I wasn't aware that one of my students is sick and needed to audit. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, by chance, does she look like this? And I was like, yeah, that's her. And he's like, okay, well, that's not her name. And that woman has been stalking me for the past 5 years. So I would appreciate it if you don't return to class. And I was like, oh my God, I had no idea. I'm so sorry. I'm glad I came and talked to you. This is the last time you'll see me. And so when I dropped off the tape recorder, I dropped off and I was like, hi. So I lied to her. I was like, I got another job. I can't do this anymore. And she was very upset with me. Yeah, that's the story of how I accidentally stalked somebody for 3.5 weeks. Memories. Okay, so we're here at our next spot. Some of y'all might recognize it, some of y'all might not, and that's okay. Let's just get at it. So right now we are behind Buzzfeed Los Angeles. Well, what was once Buzzfeed Los Angeles. It was in this location that we started Ladylike. These were our offices at the time. I'll show you around a little bit. This back road behind Buzzfeed is where all of the employees would come and go on little walks. We would eat lunch out here. I directed my first short here. I shot so many Buzzfeed videos in these 2 houses alone. Just so many career moments, so many friendships were formed on the street. I truly have so many memories down the street. Oh my God. Sunset Boulevard, baby. This is where Buzzfeed used to be back in the glory days. I can't drive past these buildings without thinking about all of the blood, sweat, and tears, all of my DNA that I have left over in that building. The old Buzzfeed offices. Our number 4 spot. All right, let's move on to number 3. Scooting ahead from our number 4 spot, which was the old Buzzfeed address. We're going from that place, one of the milestones of my career, to the exact opposite kind of place. Little walk down memory lane, or walk down memory shame, as I should really call it. There it is. Oh my God, wow. Oh my God, wow. We're here at our number 3 spot, which is a little bit of a story time. Hi. Now, you may be asking yourself, ma'am, why are you sitting in these nice people's driveway? Well, let me tell you. When I first moved to Los Angeles, I think I must have been like 2 or 3 years in, I started dating a Harry Potter impersonator. Yeah, you heard that right. But he lived here. And I would come and spend the night here and often have like little walk of shames in the morning. And one day, I was so excited to see him. I gotta tell you, I really liked this guy. I was so excited to see him that I illegally parked. I came out the next morning and realized that my car had been towed. This is the correct way to park. Just imagine this car, except here probably, that's how I parked. I couldn't find my car anywhere. And I went back to this guy's house and was like, hey, I can't find my car. And he was like, whoa, yeah, that sucks. And I sat there on his porch for a while. I refused to leave, simply because I couldn't, because I didn't have my car. I just feel like every person, especially when you move to a new city and you're single, everyone has these like walk of shame memories that just kind of plague you, haunt you. Harry Potter boy dumped me shortly thereafter, and I was brokenhearted for a little bit, only a little bit, and moved on. Okay, let's go to the next place. The next place, I promise, will be tastier. Okay, we are
off to our second most favorite place. Well, I wouldn't call these places like my most favorite places, but these are the places that are filled with the most memories. So our second place that I'm taking you to today really opened my mind to what's possible for me here in Los Angeles if I just think outside the box.
Let me tell you a little bit about my vegan gold. This place was the first place where I ever had vegan chicken tenders. Now, if you know me, you know that one of my favorite foods is fried chicken. I ordered their vegan chicken fingers as a joke, thinking this isn't gonna be anything that I would wanna order again. And bitch, did this place change my mind really fast. You might be thinking to yourself, Devin, how could you be so close-minded? Well, you know, it's fried chicken, okay? Fried chicken is a religion where I'm from. To have someone say, yeah, try this fake version of what you love, of course you're gonna be skeptical. But this place, y'all, opened my heart and opened my mind to how fried chicken can be, not only in the future, but how it can be for forever. My vegan gold, if you're in the Los Angeles area, try this place out. It has bomb vegan food. Now, you might be asking yourself, Devin, why didn't you pick up some of those chicken tenders to eat on camera? Everyone loves a good mukbang. Two things. One, I already ate lunch, and two, you're just gonna have to see them for yourself. Oh, another thing is, we're on a tour, so we gotta go to our next spot. Let's go! We are approaching our final stop on this 10-year anniversary tour of Los Angeles. And the reason why I'm taking you to this spot is I feel like when I used to visit this location, I was a completely different version of myself. All right, I'll stop talking about it and I'll just show it to you. Okay, so right now we're at the Silver Lake Reservoir Park. Now there's a playground area, there's a basketball court, they've got dog parks behind me. This park area is attached to the Silver Lake Reservoir. Around the reservoir, around the perimeter, are these gorgeous, beautiful homes. When I used to work as a nanny, because one of my first jobs in Los Angeles was a nanny, one of the families that I used to work for lived nearby. And I would take their babies to the park every day. And I remember when I would walk them to this park every day, I would think to myself, like, man, I really wish that I could live in this area one day. Despite its gentrification, which is not awesome, this area has a lot of families, has a lot of artists, has a lot of hipsters, and I just really liked it. I really liked it around here. This park also holds more meaning to me because as I, lived in LA, I found myself always coming back here. This was the park that I would go to during the pandemic to meet friends, where we would walk around the reservoir together and have conversations, masked of course. And this has just always been just kind of a beautiful, peaceful meeting place for me and my loved ones. I take you here as my #1 spot in Los Angeles because I used to come here a lot when I was a newbie. I used to fantasize about living close, and now I do. I don't live in one of those beautiful mansions. I wish I would. Those mansions are probably going for like a cool 2.5 mil. But I live close by, which makes me happy. My #1 favorite spot in LA. The Silver Lake Reservoir. So, thus concludes your tour of Los Angeles told through the lens of my last 10 years here. We are now at our final destination, which is Derek's house. He is like my co-star on this channel. If you've been in a city long enough and maybe your anniversary is approaching, I highly recommend taking a tour for yourself. Pick 10 locations that you remember very colorful stories, and just drive, do a little walkthrough. It's really kind of empowering. That's it for me this week, y'all. Thank you so much for watching, you beautiful nerds. Hear it, the sounds of Los Angeles. Thank you so much, you beautiful nerds. Your attention really means a lot to me. We do live in an attention economy after all, and so the fact that you're here with me right now, well, it's meaningful. So thank you. I will be taking next week off, but I'll see you in 2 weeks with another something special. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.